Hello there, it's Gabby here from Confidence After Cancer, and I hope this finds you well. This week, I'm going to be talking about 2 quick ways that you can boost your confidence no matter how you're feeling. And this is something that comes back to me time and time again when people are asking for help. What can I do when I don't feel confident? And, the reasons behind your lack of confidence may be many. There may be varied different things. We're not going to really look at the reasons for that and fixing those. What we're going to talk about today is just 2 quick things that you can do to boost your confidence. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is your body language. And it's so important. And I think Tony Robbins talks about this a lot, about, your physiology, your physical state, and how that can impact upon your mental state. And sometimes if you are feeling low, you're feeling anxious, it's very easy just to slump down, relax your shoulders, really get into that physical state of not feeling very caring for yourself, feeling lost, feeling anxious, and it shows in your body language. So a pretty quick thing that you can do is really think about changing your body language. Straighten your back, shoulders back, chin up, look at the sky, look at the horizon. If you can get outside, and move your body, that is such a quick way to help you to move, to improve your body language, and sort of give that subliminal message to your mind, your little mind that's always listening to everything you're thinking and saying and doing, giving that message that, okay, this is how a confident person would act. And that's something I always think is a very good thing to do. I don't know if any of you follow Victoria Wood. Victoria Wood was a comedian who had this really funny skit, and it was a lady called Kitty from Cheadle. And I remember one of the monologues that she did, and it was hilarious. There's so many funny things in it. But one of the things that she did when she said, when she was in a difficult situation, she thought, what would the Queen Mother do? And she sort of used that back in the day, obviously, when we had the Queen Mother. But she used that as an example of thinking, I'm not really sure in this situation, what would she do? And I found that back in the day, when I was struggling with my confidence, to think about somebody that I held up as a role model. And it's not that you're going to, mimic this person or become exactly like them, but think about something that you admire. If you're struggling with your confidence, think about a really confident person. It could be somebody that you know. It could be somebody in the public eye. It could be a fictional character. It doesn't have to be a specific person. But what it has to be is somebody that you've connected with, that there's something about them that you think, she's or he is confident. That's the way I'd like to be. I'd like a bit more of that. And thinking about, what would they do in that situation? So for me, when I was younger, and still to a degree now, I always held up Madonna as somebody who had ultimate confidence. She knew what she was about. Yes, she had her haters. She had people who would criticise what she did, but she didn't let that knock her off course. She didn't let that dent her confidence. Or if she did, she didn't show it, did she? Her public persona was that she was a confident woman. She knew what she was about. She wasn't afraid to take risks. And that's something that I admired in her. So I'm not saying I live my life like Madonna, but her approach to her confidence, her approach to not letting other people knock her off course, it is something that I admire. She's getting older now and getting a lot of criticism for her music or the way that she looks or things like that. But again, she doesn't appear to let that deter her from what she's going to do. So, and that's always a lesson as well, because if you live your life for other people, looking for other people's approval, then sooner or later you're going to be disappointed, because people will criticize you. Some people will, and I've said this before, you can't live your life trying to appeal to everybody and making everybody like you, because some people won't like you. But you know what? That's okay. They're not your people. The thing to be is just be yourself. Be true to yourself and hang on to what you believe to be true, and the right people will love you for who you are, for being the beautiful person that you are. Some people might not like that. They might not like you, but they're not your people. You're not trying to appeal to them. At the end of the day, the person you've got to appeal to, and the person that you've got to be at peace with, is the person that you look at in the mirror. That is the most important person. So my first tip then is body language. Body language can do a huge amount for you. If you're in a social situation where you're feeling a little bit anxious, it can help just to think about your physiology, think about your body language, deep breaths, shoulders back, chin up. You're as good as anybody else. You're not looking down on people, but you're not looking up to people either. You are as good as anybody else, and just be confident in yourself. So act as if, just act as if you are that confident person, and little steps by little steps, over and over, by acting as if you are a confident person, it will actually increase your confidence. Trust me, it's worked for me. The other thing I'm going to talk about, the second thing, and I've touched on this before with confidence, is watching your internal language. I've just said about you not looking for other people's approval. But for me, what really helped, I found it very difficult when I was younger to take a compliment. I really did. I brush it off. And I think it's quite an English or a British thing to do as well. When somebody says, oh, I like your dress, to say, oh, this old thing, oh, I got it in the sale. Or really to be self-deprecating about yourself and really, trying not to be arrogant and trying not to big yourself up. We're not talking about that when we're talking about improving your confidence. We're talking about being proud of yourself. That's not arrogant. It's about loving yourself for the beautiful person that you are. So I found it really useful back in the day when I had a paper diary, because I'm quite old school, to write down if somebody gave me a compliment, just so that I could look at it and remember it. And you might want to do that now. If somebody gives you a compliment, accept it in the spirit that it was meant, because people don't have to give you compliments. I'm sure that if somebody gives you a compliment, they meant it. So smile, be grateful, thank them for it. And if you want to, make a little note of it in your phone. If you use the notes facility, as I do, I have to remember a lot of things. I do notes for everything, but I do put nice things like that sometimes in my notes as well. Oh, do you remember when such a body said that nice thing to you? And when you're having a bit of an off moment, you can look at that and smile and think, yeah, that was a nice thing, and they meant it, and that is true about me. That is a good thing about me. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Having said that, yes, it's great that other people give you compliments, but the most important relationship you've got, as I've already said, is with yourself, the person that you look at in the mirror. And so the way you talk to yourself has got profound implications for your confidence. Okay, if you constantly say to yourself, oh, you're not very good at that, or you always do that, you always mess up with that constant drip, drip, drip of criticism, nobody needs that. The world is full of critics, okay? You don't need another one. You don't need to criticize yourself. Why not try, just for today, not criticizing yourself, being proud of yourself? And when you hear that little monkey mind saying, oh, you can't do that, who do you think you are? Push it away. That's not the truth. That is your ego, if you like. And your ego's job is to keep you safe. And how can it do that? By not letting you try new things, by staying with the familiar, by, some people call it, keeping you small. And we don't want to stay small, do we? We want to growth. To me, is one of my values. I want to grow. I want to learn. I know I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, and that's part of being human. But it's accepting your mistakes, learning from them, and moving on is a huge part for me of growing my confidence, thinking I can live in that place for a little while of being regretful and learning the lesson, but I have to move on, and I have to put it in context, because overall there's a lot of good things about me, and there's a lot of good things about you. I know there is. So focus on the good. Let's grow the good. Let's expand on that. We want more and more of that. Well, I do. I want more and more of the things I enjoy in life. And to do that, I need to be a confident person. I need to be confident to come on here and talk to you today and to record this for you, because it's part of where I'm going in my journey. It's part of how I can help people. Is I need to be confident, and I need to be sharing mistakes that I've made. I need to be sharing what I've learned. I need to be sharing lots of tips and techniques and tools that I've got that can help you. So the short podcast today is all about these two things that you can do for yourself to improve your confidence, and you can do it quite quickly. So first of all is your posture, your body language, and secondly is to be thinking about the way that you talk to yourself. Okay, I want you to be the confident, happy person that you can be, and why not take a little time this week to think about that little monkey mind, that little inner chatter that sometimes can be very critical and can be very harsh. And people sometimes talk to themselves in a way they would never speak to their best friend. You would never say to your friend, oh, you've messed up there again, or you're a mess. You always do that. You'd never say that. You'd never say to your best friend, I can't forgive you for that thing that you did. So show yourself some compassion. So show yourself some grace. Move forward. Apologize for a mistake if you need to. Do whatever you need to do, but move forward. Don't keep looking back, because the past is gone now. Can't change it. All we can do is look forward. So thank you so much for listening to me. I hope you have an amazing week. I am very excited because I did something that was a bit scary for me this week. So I have somebody that I follow that's quite famous in the coaching world. She's written a lot of books. She's done a lot of high profile stuff. And I reached out to her and invited her to be a guest on my podcast. And guess what? She said yes. And so that was a major boost for me. So I'll be talking more about that and the amazing guests that I've got coming on to my podcast for next week. I think it's going to be really insightful. She's like me. She's a midlife woman. She's had her ups and downs. She's reinvented herself more than once, and she's got lots of tools, techniques, and help for you if you want to improve your confidence. So thank you so much for listening. It's been a pleasure. As always, reach out to me. You know how to get a hold of me. You can go onto my website, confidenceaftercancer.co.uk. I'm looking forward to hearing from you, and let's speak very soon. Take care, my lovely. Bye-bye.